The EFF's Plenum is currently underway in Boksburg in the east of Gauteng. Party leaders and supporters are meeting to prepare for the year ahead. Let's take you there now. A lot of developments expected, including the projections and expectations of the political playing field ahead of the elections later on in the year. At the podium, the EFF's Godrich Gadi.
In the results center, which are hyperlinked to the results. If we get the 23 pages, or times 2 or 3, there will be about 90 pages document. You will find that the result slips. Too much cancellation, tampering, does not speak to the to the result slip that you have in your cell phone. Why did you refuse to give us the 23,000 result slips of 2024? Why? The SG is here. He can tell you even the date of writing that letter. What is it that you are hiding? Because only you, by a minute clicking of a button, say, enter. They are merged and consolidated and sent and even sorted in terms of province, ballot paper, municipality, per ward. Why? Are you trying to push me out? No, we're about to finish. It's either today or never. Otherwise, you'll find it in Twitter. If my memory serves me well, can I have water? Water. If my memory serves me well, the elections were held in November 2021 because of COVID. Cheers. We went to the elections in November 2021 because of COVID. Ordinarily, if our memory serves us well, those elections should have been held somewhere in May, June, July, or not later than August. If our memory serves us well, IEC and the Minister of Culture went to the Constitutional Court for a declaratory order to condone their decision that the elections should be held later because of an international state of emergency. Can we be taken on board if in the event that there might be a return to the status quo of somewhere May, June, July? Because as a matter of fact, what informs IEC to advise government on a date that must be the date of elections? The weather on that month. The question is, the weather so good in November 2026? University students, will they be able to come out of the rest and vote during exams? Matric students, they are in camps in November. What must happen? Who benefits in an election that must be held in November? Because our matriculants will be in matric camps. You know, when I say our children are in university, we mean exactly that. We are so old, we have got children in universities. They will be writing exam in the rest. And the weather will not be so good in November. What must happen? Don't you consider a possibility of going back to the Constitutional Court to go back to the status quo? Wherein the date fits into a proper weather and mobility of the voters, the youth in particular, which State South Africa was talking about, between 18 and 26. Where is the youth between 18 and 36 in November, the day at which you are advising government to have elections? Why don't you go back to the status quo? Or we want to be ambushed, thinking that elections will be in November. All of you here are thinking elections will be in November. Wait and see. Who does it serve to ambush us? You know, you spoke at Demarcation Board. You have never explained to us what happened in Vuwani, what happened in Umjindi at Mpumalanga, what's happening throughout South Africa where there's violence because of your conduct. You have not explained that to us. And this thing that you are demarcating every 5 years, in one way or the other, I will say it's a lie. I stand to be corrected. You know, the most expensive thing in the democracy of South Africa, which is so much glorified and so much well spoken about internationally, it doesn't exist. A political party that wants to, ANC and DA, do not spend less than 800 million rand in every 800, almost R1 billion in every election. Mbalula is now in court for posters of 100 million rand. 100 million rand posters just for one election. We don't know the other posters and other paraphernalia for elections. But here in South Africa, you are traumatizing every 2.5 years. 2024, for example, EFF, don't laugh, EFF spent R1 billion in 2024 elections alone. 2.5 years later, we're going to local, that 2024 was national and provincial elections. We spent R1 billion, for example. 2.5 years later, you are taking us to other elections. Another R1 billion. And once we have finished the local government elections in November 2026, 2029, we're going to another national elections, another R1 billion. What must happen? What kind of such an expensive democracy you are taking us through? Are you not able to tell government that this thing is just impossible? That is why political parties and politicians will be so corrupt to finance this democracy every 2.5 years. All right, Demarcation Board. Okay, Demarcation Board maybe is the last thing I want to say. You know, we happened to be deployed in a KwaZulu-Natal, in a Tekwini in 2016 or so. You know, there is a word, when you go to eat, you don't drive like this, horizontally. You drive to that word, you drive to that word vertically. By the time you reach that village, you are dizzy. It has got 30 voting stations. 100. And we are here as Demarcation Board. But go to the farm of Tutoit, where there are 27 people, it is a voting station. Or it is even a ward. How do you have a ward with 30 voting stations and the villages are 30 kilometers apart of each other, and reaching that ward is unhygienic?